Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul, and I am a nerd, and you are here for the special Halloween edition of the October 2017 PracticeMaster Virtual User Group meeting. I forgot which virtual user group meeting I was in for just a moment. This is not to be confused with the non-Halloween October 27 PracticeMaster Virtual User Group meeting, which was canceled this year. Today we are talking about a special type of field called a folder field, or it's actually called a file field. And we're going to talk about a special way to use that field to take you straight to a folder from within PracticeMaster. Mary Jo will talk about that and tell you why that might be fun or important. And I'm going to talk about ways to quickly replicate a record to create a duplicate copy, a way that people may not have known about and may have been taken the long way. Without any further ado, I will press a magical series of magical buttons that will leave us right here in PracticeMaster where Mary Jo can start talking about the file field.
Okay, so you may know that you can save documents to a file field just simply by linking that document path to that field. If you're using doc management in our system, you should be familiar with those fields as well. When we come in here, of course, I'm on a filtered list, but there may be a field that you would fill in where the document path is, and that takes you to a single document, and that's good. Except, what if you want to just have a quick link to a folder that has all of the documents in there? You might have a folder within a folder. You have a client folder for client number 123, matter number 000, and inside of that you have a correspondence folder, you have a pleading folder, you have, whatever those document folders or things that you're storing in that particular file. And instead of having to go out to each individual document, you want a quick link to just get out to all of those folders in one click. And that's where this field comes into place. So we have added one down here. It's just called a sample file field. And how I got this to the screen, this is a new field, because remember in PracticeMaster we can add and change fields in the screens in any way that we want to. So how I did that is I was in File Maintenance, and I believe I need to close out of this first, and we're going to go up to Maintenance, File Maintenance, and this is probably going to be an admin task, so if you're not an administrator or manager in the program, you're not going to be able to do that. But I wanted to add that field to the client file. So once I'm in File Maintenance, I simply click on Client, say that OK, and then we're going to go to the fields. And if I scroll down to the bottom, you'll see I've got that sample file field here that jumped on me, that is created. That's a file field. To create a new one, we simply click New, give it a name, and we make sure that the file type is file, or the field type, is file. And then we can name this whatever we want, okay? And once we've named that, and we've created the field out there for the file field, I'm going to cancel this because we've already got one, and we're going to cancel the changes. And once I have that, then I have to add it to the screen. So when I get out here to the client, once I'm on the client list, we just go to Edit, Form Designer, and at that point we can add a field right here. So it's got the little A in a box, okay? When we click on that, if I scroll all the way down to the bottom, because the last field that we added was that sample file field, you can see it's here. It would be bold because it wouldn't have been on the field or on the screen yet. And I would just click that and say OK, and that would add it to my screen, and I can drag and drop it wherever I want. So first step is to create the field. Second step is to add it to the screen. And then it will be available for us to go ahead and use. So how do we use this field? So the first thing that I need to do is I'm going to navigate out just by clicking this little link here. This little folder with the little arrows here is actually a link. It's a search. It's looking for the document. So when I click on that, it's going to open up my Windows directory.
I'm sorry, you said looking for the document? But we don't want a document, we want a folder.
Well, if you would just wait a second, Paul. Oh my goodness. So we're going to come out here into the Docs folder. I'm just going to come into this. And the trick to doing this, to get access to the whole folder, because right here you can see I have an Includes folder, I've got an Old folder, plus I have all these documents out here. Well, it's only going to want me, I can't click on the docs folder. You know, if I go up a level and I click on the docs folder, and say open, it's not going to let me do it. I can't link that folder into here. So what I have to do is go inside the folder that I want to link to, and then I need to pick a document. Doesn't matter what document, I'm just going to pick a document. Go ahead and say open, and now I've got this path in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get to the end of that naming, and I'm going to delete everything up to the main folder name, which is the docs. So if I want this to just take me out to the docs, I have to take out the file name and then save it. Now that I've got that saved, if I click on my link here, it's going to take me right out to that folder. And now I'm going directly to that docs folder. So I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to take everything out of here. We're going to go ahead and click on the folder. I'm going to go out. I'm going to show you where I am. So I'm out on my master directory, wherever I was out here in this copy of NFR. I'm going to go all the way out to my S drive. And then I'm going to go out to a different folder. So we'll just go up here to the docs folder on the S drive. I'm going to open it. Inside there, look at all these folders I have in here. But I'm going to get down to a document. So I'm just going to take this ACS footer. Doesn't matter what document, just any document. Say open. Now I want to have this be linked to just that docs folder. So we'll back it up, delete everything up to that slash. I leave the slash, and we save it. Now when I click on that, it's going to take me right out to that S drive docs. I've got all my folders, all of my documents, everything is out there. So that's a folder link instead of it just being for a document path.
That's awesome.
Oh.
Now, you may be wondering, why would we do this? Well, let's say that you are using document management. And as Mary Jo said, you know, we're going to, oh, look at
There's a filter on, Paul.
Yeah, look
I'll take it off.
No, I got it.
Okay.
We're going to go over here, for instance. Now it is over here. Manage filters. No, you know, there's just no documents for this guy. There is no filter on. Okay. So if we get to somebody that's got documents, Michael Larson versus Belcore, you know, this is where you put documents, and it's great. It's document management that can be customized. There's a lot of great reasons to use this. But let's say you started using this last month, and you've got a whole bunch of cases that have been going on forever, and they're going to close, you know, this month or next month, and you're not going to create document management records for all those documents. You'd rather just put something in up here, like a folder that points you to those documents on your N drive, your F drive, whatever you call it, the way you used to do it. And that's a temporary way to get to that folder quickly from within PracticeMaster, even though for new cases, you're putting your documents in here. Another reason people use it is they might have something specific that they want to link to, maybe the fee agreement, maybe the retainer agreement, maybe the set of client instructions that the paralegals are to follow in how to deal with discovery requests. I don't know. And so you could create a field. It doesn't have to be a folder. I'm talking about uses for this field type file type field, even if it's not a folder. You can point to a document using a field like this, even if it's not part of document management. But we've just shown you how to create a folder and create a link to a folder. It's an excellent interim step for that bridge of that time between when you're going to have all your documents in PracticeMaster and when you didn't have any of them in there. So for those cases that aren't going to close, they aren't closed right now, but we just moved into document management and they're going to close in a month or two, and we don't want to create all the document management records. That's the perfect time to be doing that sort of thing. Now, I'm going to talk about replicating a record. So let's say that you have a people record that's got everything set up exactly the way it needs to be. Or maybe you have a fee record that you want to replicate. I did this, but Mary Jo did it too, so I'm going to create a replicated record, and I'm just going to change the timekeeper to Mary Jo, and then we've got two fee records that we created, the second one from the first one. or you want to duplicate a journal record, an email that's been journaled, or you want to duplicate a calendar record. You can come in and just enter the fee over again. You can go into calendar and create a calendar item, and then you've got another one that's identical, but it's an hour later. You can just enter the whole thing over again. But you can also pick any record, and hit File and Replicate. Well, that one, I had a funny record. I had a task-based record, and then I had changed this to not being a task-based client. Let me find a non-task-based entry. See, that's task-based too. Let me choose a different way to illustrate this. Let me go to Calendar, and I'm going to replicate this one, and I want to confirm receipt of something else. Same date, same client, same everything, same person responsible, but I also want to confirm receipt of the employment information. So I go up to File, Replicate. I get a new record on the screen, identical to the first record. All I have to do, is change the one word. You would think that would be easy, but not when you're as old as me, typing on a small keyboard. And there, save it. It's done. And I have this turned on to automatically email people about changes to calendar records. And now I have 3 records, 2 records made from one that says employment information, one that says treatment. So any record could be a client. Maybe you have a client that has a matter that's identical to another client's matter of the same type. Maybe you have a client that has 4 matters that are identical except that they have different primary timekeepers. Any record that you've got in the system, as long as you're highlighting it and you say replicate from File menu, you will replicate that record. Pretty simple, but I can't tell you how many people have asked me, is there a quicker way to do this other than typing it in? Because it's kind of hidden. It's under the File menu, File, Replicate. It's not right out there. There's no replicate a record button out here that'll do it. And it can be done anywhere, any record at all. And you don't necessarily have to be on the list with that highlighted. You could be in that client. So if you're not on a list where the record is highlighted, like we were out here, I am on a list of clients. I have highlighted this client. I am now in that client without one highlighted, and so Replicate will replicate the same record that I'm on right now. So you are it's either the record that you're on, or if you're in a list, it's the record that you are currently highlighting that you will be replicating. I've managed to pick a client that has absolutely nothing. Let's go back over here. So it's either on the list or right in the record. So you're either replicating the record that's highlighted in the list or the record that you are on. And that's it. Very simple. But there are a lot of times when this could come in really handy just to do something a little bit quicker than you could do it than retyping. And that's that. So next month, we are talking about organizing quick clicks. What's quick clicks? Quick clicks is this thing over here. Right over here. Any list that you're on, you're going to have quick clicks. Not many people know about quick clicks. Even fewer know that you can organize them to have things laid out the way you want them to. And Mary Jo is going to talk all about how to do that. I'm going to talk about how to dial the phone from PracticeMaster. If you have an IP-based phone, it can pretty easily be set up to dial the phone. And it's just like you hit the speaker button and dial the number. Or you just, many phones, you just start dialing and it puts the phone into speaker mode. You can do the same thing in PracticeMaster. You can highlight somebody's phone number either on by clicking the phone button there or on a list here and dial the phone. I'll be talking about how to do that and all the intricacies that go into making PracticeMaster hook into Windows and let that happen. And of course, it wouldn't be a virtual user group meeting if I did not take you to our website, attorneycomputersystems.com. And I emphasize that last S in the word systems, because if you forget it, if you don't know it's there, then you won't get to the right place. Click on videos, and you will see every video that we have on our site. And there are almost 1,000 of them. We have 4 live events that get recorded every month. You're currently in the PracticeMaster virtual user group meeting, and sure enough, we're recording it. It'll be there in a couple weeks or a couple days, depending on Brad's backlog. We also have 2 pre-recorded titles, the eBytes video series. Mary Jo records 3 of these every month, one on tabs, one on PracticeMaster, one on World Docs. These are little short 2, 3, 4-minute videos about some really cool thing that we've discovered or that we know about that can be described very succinctly in about 2 or 3 minutes. The longer format Paul and Mary Jo show takes broader topics or more in-depth topics, and either I or Mary Jo will go into great detail. Again, we do them on all 3 topics. We do one of these each month. And of course, each month we have a coffee pot webinar and our 3 virtual user group meetings. So if you click on more info for any of these titles, we'll go to the one we're currently in. You will find that you get a brief description of what the video title or series is. You'll get information if it's a live event on the next scheduled event, a description of what we'll be covering. You'll have 2 links to register. They are identical. Doesn't matter which one you click on. Some people just don't like to click on something that doesn't show where they're going. So we have both of them. As you scroll down, you will find pre-recorded versions of everything else we've done, unless it's still in post-production. And frankly, this isn't even in post-production because we're not done with it yet. But as soon as we are, it'll go off to Brad, it'll be produced, and it'll be up here ready for you to watch again. So please take advantage of this. You can use our search feature. You can just browse through the various titles, and you can find some really interesting stuff in here. As I said, we've got close to 1,000 videos covering just about every topic you could possibly imagine in tabs, PracticeMaster, or World Docs. Thanks very much. Everybody have a good rest of the day, and we will see you next month in November. Bye-bye.